Hey peeps, Pinkle16 here, recording whatever kind of video you want to call this one. But I have no sound because Sonic Advance's music and sound in general is just plain awful. I'm not exactly calling this a full episode of the Chao series because I'm just explaining stuff here, and basically I'm not going to be doing much. Now this is somebody else's save from Gamefaqs. I just decided to do this so then I'd be able to experiment. I can tell you stuff about this Chao Garden in basic terms, so it's no big deal. I mean, I can actually... what the heck? Yeah, they can speak in this version. But I'm going to start explaining some things to do with the Chao Garden. So, yeah, first and foremost, you're controlling a glove. This glove is not specific to any character, it won't affect any character likingness or anything like that. You'll just, hear about it like that. So, on the side here, I'm going to start explaining about the Tiny Chao Garden, just to get you with. Here is where you name your Chao. Now, the screen looks directly identical to, the console counterparts. The only difference is the buttons and stuff, plus like the buttons enter, delete, and done, and in this thing, you get a sprite of your little Chao walking, and every time you insert a letter, it makes an exclamation mark on its ball. So I'm just gonna input G for it, and then it will show. See? Oh, there. But I'm just gonna take it out, and then it's gonna cancel it. Like, let me just. Like, it'll just cancel it once you press V, like that, like the letter before, and, you know, I'm just gonna press cancel so then I can keep the name. I like my name. It doesn't do that all the time after you've done it. These are weeds that I just pulled out there. If you have too much of them, your Chao will hate you, so get rid of them. Over here is, the general Chao thing. Like, what I mean by Chao thing is that it shows you what type of Chao your Chao is. Your Chao can't necessarily evolve in the Chao Garden. It can't reincarnate or die or do any of those things that it would, it can't do any of those things in this Chao Garden. So, if you've raised the Chao in this garden alone, you're gonna see child forever. But, if you've transferred a Chao over that has like a hero or dark alignment and has evolved or anything like that, it'll try and imitate that Chao's color, and we'll have a different thing here saying like hero, neutral swim, fly, you know, those kinds of things. Over here is your mood. Now that's how happy the Chao is. Barely how full it is. These do not correspond to Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I've had a Chao that was very, very hungry in the Tiny Chao Garden, but when I transferred it to Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, it was like, nope, I'm not hungry, I'm just, I'm actually quite full. So, don't be deceived that you can feed your Chao here and they'll be full in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, because they don't correspond. Swim, like, these are the levels for your Chao. They're not very hard to understand. It's just the level is all. The score, it can't be seen here, sorry. So you don't know how high your Chao's thingy is until you transfer it. I'm just gonna feed it some of the fruit. But, yeah, the fruit, okay, I'll explain the fruit in a second. But, these stats are, very difficult to get. I've had a Chao that only lived in this Tiny Chao Garden. Like, I think his name was Chocho. He's in my Sonic Adventure DX now, and, what he did, basically, was, he had very low levels, but a really high score. So I think these fruits do something to increase the score or something, but I don't know, it's just me. He was a fairly average Chao by the time I transferred him, so it was generally alright. And these are your rings. Now, pretty obvious, you get them in levels and stuff, so don't feel threatened. Now as for over here, These up here are mini games. You can use them to earn rings. That's also another way of earning rings, by those little Game Boy Advances. Over here is fruit that you can buy from the store that I opened before. And this is a Jewel Chow egg. This is the gold egg. This is what the gold egg looks like in 2D sprite form. When you open the store by pressing the L button, you get viewed a bunch of possibilities. You get all this fruit here, so like they're fairly cheap. So like, just buy that here, and then I'm gonna buy this one here. And weeds don't pop up after you do it. Just completely, yeah, they talk in this version. They don't talk in any other, but they're a bunch of predetermined lines. There are a lot of them though. I'm going to make you aware of that like right now. These fruit, as well as being good filler-ups, some of them, also increase your stats. As you see, it went from level 15 to level 16. These show how far your Chow is to the next stat, though you could already do that in the 3D versions. You can only raise one Chow in this Tiny Chao Garden here. You can only raise one because that's the capacity the Game Boy Advance can take. One Chow and one egg. That's all your Chao Garden can take of a Chow. These eggs, if your Chow runs away or goes to a console version, it'll hatch and yeah, this game and Sonic Advance 2 are the only way to get the Jewel Chow, like the Amethyst Chow, the Peridot Chow, all the Jewel Chow of colors other than gold and silver that exist. Like, because gold and silver are already obtainable as Sonic Adventure DX. In case you're wondering what it's doing, no, it's not going towards the water because Chow cannot go into the water in this game. This water is literally useless. It covers up all this bit of the Chao Garden, but it doesn't do anything except let your duck float around. You can buy the duck or the trumpet in the store. I don't know what this guy did with their TV set, but they probably like dumped it somewhere. But there's also a TV that your Chow can watch as well. If you give the trumpet to your Chow, it makes a small noise, like as it plays it. The duck does nothing but float around. The Chow cannot ride it. It's just a duck. It floats around. It does nothing. It's just something there. And the fruit is here. These fruits actually have actual 3D models in the actual 3D games, and they have the exact same effects too. So, and there's no belly meter to go by too, so you can just feed these to your Chow and see how they raise. No. You can just feed these to your Chow and they'll do pretty much the same effects. This fruit here looks almost exactly like see, it's hungry, so it's gonna go picking up a fruit to eat. This fruit here looks almost exactly like the fruit from the 3D versions, but it's not the exact same fruit. I'm buying this fruit because I want to have like a full collection to show you. This is what your Chao Garden can look like if you have all the fruits. I don't mind wasting the money. It's somebody else's save, and they put it up for others to use, so I'm just gonna use it anyway. Whoever it was that made the save, well, kudos to you. I'm making a Chao series thingy out of it. There's not much to explain outside of that. The mini games themselves are quite lengthy. Like this is a time limited This is a time limited mini game. It's basically rock paper scissors, so you gotta wait until the thing is correct. So you can hit the same one and it will give you points, but if you hit the wrong one, you're pretty much dead. So yeah, you gotta do it before you see. You gotta do it before your rings, before either the time or your thing pops out. So I'm basically dead. See, it knocks it away, and then your time's up. Your Chow's in the middle, seeing it around. Basically, that's rock paper scissors. The green ones are the rocks, the pink ones are the scissors, and the purple ones are the paper. And you gotta make sure it's general rules of rock paper scissors. The one that has the advantage will have the advantage. It's like Pokemon with with fire, water, grass. They're all weak to each other in some way, and one's like resistant against another. Like water is resistant to grass is resistant to water, fire is resistant to grass, and water is resistant to fire. And you know, the same advantages. Water beats fire, and so on and so on. You know, just those basic general things. That's basically rock, paper, scissors in that nutshell there. You do most of the things in the garden with the A button, so like picking up items, picking up the thing, picking up the fruits, picking up the objects, the eggs, petting the Chao, the duck, the store, picking up things from the store. You know, those things are all really easy. Plus the naming of the Chao and stuff. So it's all A button oriented. Oh, and your D-pad. Now this is a memory game. Those bits. Now it shows you these bits at the start. I already know where two are. The Chao might move some cards around, and then you gotta memorize which cards go where. Well, I'm not gonna get any in the 5 range now, but the Chao sometimes might not move any around at all. So yeah, and then you gotta like, yeah, like, see, you can only get 3 wrong. You can spend as much time as you want, but you can't get all of them wrong. If you get all of them right, you'll get a good amount of rings, and then you'll end up, you know, liking yourself, and the game will like you, and will give you an average amount of rings, you know. So like, here's this fruit. I only have 1 chance though, so I doubt I'm gonna win this. Well, oh my goodness, wow. Yep, I'm dead. Well, basically, it would give you the rings that you did obtain. See, did you see the rings down there? They sort of increased. It'll give you the rings that you could obtain, but it won't give you the whole amount of rings you could have obtained. I mean, it's not that cruel to just stuff that amount of rings that you got just down the drain. Now it's hungry, I'm aware, so it's gonna grow towards a fruit. Yeah. The Chao, like in the main versions, will just see the fruit and then eat of its own accord, but it won't be too much, honestly. It's helping itself, so it's being great. Anyway, that's not much to explain about the Tiny Chao Garden. It's very basic, mostly just to serve as a between thingy. And you know, a portable Chao Garden to many was interesting at the time. To those that were interested in the Chao Garden anyway. To be honest, if you're gonna raise a Chao in the Chao Garden, I'd say those pink fruits are the best fruits for raising your Chao's belly stat. I've experimented with all of them, and some of them don't raise the Chao's belly at all. So, like, because you want it to be very high, so then you can actually just raise it with concern. And you know, it's always fun to pet a Chao and have it love you, and that little animation it does. So, did something good happen? Yay! Yes, something good happened. I made a video. So, yeah, and also if you press the start button, you'll see continue, which will just resume your game, and save and exit, which will take you to the title screen and save the Chao Garden. I might want to tell you a little story that happened whilst the screen is paused. I originally played Sonic Advance at my cousin's house. We had a lot of fun, but the Tiny Chao Garden, the game's save was actually quite busted, so the game could not save. The game had problems in saving. The moment you turned the cartridge off, the whole Game Boy Advance cartridge would just go put. The whole thing, your Chao inside, your thing, your whole, it would just disintegrate. I was concerned because I knew Sonic Advance could save, and I was wondering why. It was actually the cartridge. It was actually what was wrong with the cartridge. Because when I got my own Game Boy Advance, Sonic Advance, despite the save problems with the game with the ring problem that I mentioned in episode 20, despite that, the game still saved. The game could still save my progress on my Chao, so I assumed it to be only that cartridge, which was actually quite sad. So, because my cousin liked raising the Chao in the Chao Garden and calling it Peanut all the time, so like Peanut, not Peanut like the 3rd or 4th or anything like that, just Peanut all the time, so you could basically go Peanut the 3rd, Peanut the 4th, or something like that. Because when your Chao hatches, because basically when you start up this garden, you just get a small egg like this, only it's like designed like a regular Chao egg. Outside of it hatches this Chao, the normal regular two-tone normal, so don't go asking me those kinds of questions. It hatches into that after you pet the egg. Since you can't do that in the console versions, don't expect any patting, because you can't pet eggs in the console versions. But once it's hatched, it's given a predetermined name by itself. It doesn't, the predetermined name doesn't, what am I supposed to say? The predetermined name doesn't get decided by some fortune teller or anything like that, and the predetermined name isn't determined like, I don't know, by any other kind of method. It's just randomly assigned a name given it, but you can rename it at any time you want, because she kept giving it names and then she just kept calling it Peanut over and over, because that's one of the default names you can name your Chao here in this version of the Chao Garden. See? I don't know if Kewpie's a default name, but I doubt it. Anyway, enough of my talking and rambling. That's enough for the Tiny Chao Garden. If I do feel that I can do more with this, which I really highly doubt since this thing is unbelievably basic, you would not believe, then I'll do something with it. But I just decided to show this off because, well, it's a Tiny Chao Garden. It's a Chao Garden, and I wanted to show you all what I see on the Game Boy Advance when I actually transfer my Chao from there to my GameCube. Another thing I might want to mention: if your Chao's a color, like you know, the Jewel Chao, or a color in general of just a different color of a kind of Chao, like it's pink or it's yellow or it's purple, it'll try and imitate that color as best as it possibly can. This is not the only sprite it can have, but it's close for a two-tone normal or any kind of normal Chao. Any kind of normal colored Chao will have this, but any kind of colored Chao will have a colored sprite, you know? But it won't imitate it to the perfectness. Like, you won't see a fully evolved, like, fly Chao in here or something. You'll only see possibly the color that your Chao is, you know? But again, enough of my rambling. It's really basic, and honestly, not much. So yeah, await episode 21 soon. I just need to get my camera fixed again because it's having problems. It died and then it won't charge. It's weird. Don't ask me why. But I'm preparing episode 21 as well as I possibly can. So yeah, I'll see you then. So see y'all. Have a good day. Peace, and enjoy your Chao Gardens on whatever version they are, whether it be Tiny Chao Garden or you know, Tiny Chao Garden or the real Chao Gardens in both either Sonic Adventure DX or Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. So again, see y'all, have a good day, peace, and enjoy your Chao Garden.